Oh, 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 oh. सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति 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 Saira. We have so far looked at 30 sutras from Narada Bhakti Sutra. We'll continue from where we left off. The past few sutras talk about that supreme state of bhakti, what it is not, how it comes about, and so on. So last week also we looked at a few, and we understand it's both jnana and karma, jnana and bhakti. Both of them are intimate, and so on. So we'll continue from where we left off. So we are looking at the 31st sutra today. Raja Griha Bhojanadeshu Tathaiva Drishtatvat. Raja Griha Bhojanadeshu Tathaiva Drishtatvat. Raja Griha Bhojanadeshu Tathaiva Drishtatvat. We look at the letters which we may have to pay attention to. In the Rajagriha Bhojanadishu, this Bho is the fourth letter in the Pa class of consonants. It has to be aspirated, so it's Bho. Okay. And Adishu, the Shu is again the cerebral Sha, the tongue should point towards the roof of the mouth. The next word, the Thaiva, the second letter, Thaiva. The Thai is the second letter in the third class of consonants, so it has to be aspirated. Tathaiva Drishtatvat. Those are the pronunciation related points. Let's look at the Sandhi Vichetana, or the split of the Sandhi or joinings, to look at the individual words. The first word is actually a samasa. There are no Sandhi related changes, but I have, there's maybe one change. I've separated them out with the hyphen between Raja, Griha, Bhojana, Adishu. The na and a becomes na. It is actually one word because it's a compound word, but made up of four individual words. Raja, Griha, Bhojana, Adi. Okay. Then next word is Tathaiva. Tathaiva is made of two distinct words, Tatha and Eva. Tatha and Eva. The Tha plus A becomes Thai. Okay. A plus A always becomes I. So in this case, Tatha and Eva becomes Tathaiva. Okay. Drishtatva stands alone as a single word. No change. Let's look at the meaning. Raja means king or kingdom. Okay. I've used the word kingdom. Griha is home. Bhojana is food. Adi means etc. beginning from. So that's Raja, Griha, Bhojana, etc. Kingdom, home, food, etc. The issue, Adishu, you are saying, no, Adishu. Shu basically is the seventh vibhakti or seventh noun form, plural. So the meaning is in or on or at, multiple meanings. Okay. In kingdom, home, and food, etc. Okay. That's the meaning of Raja, Griha, Bhojanadishu. Tatha means in the same manner. So the thing is, in Sanskrit, there's usually yatha and tatha. How it is so, in that same manner. Yatha means in which manner, tatha means in that manner. So yatha is implied here. Yatha means the way it is in kingdom, home, food, etc. In the same way, in the same manner, alone, or indeed, or like that. Also you can say tata, like that, or in the same manner. Drishtatvat. Drishtatvat means drishtva. Drish means to see. Drishtatva means the ability to see, or the action of seeing is drishtatva. Drishtatvat means through that, from that. It's the fifth vibhakti or the fifth noun form. So from seeing, seeing what? From seeing the Lord or seeing devotion itself. So just the way it is Raja, Griha, Bhojanadishu, just the way whatever is seen in Raja, Griha, Bhojana, in the same way that is available in Trishtatva also, in see. See, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Jnatum Drashtum Tattvena Praveshtum. So just after Arjuna had the glimpse of the Vishwarupa Darshanam of Krishna, Krishna tells Arjuna, you have been able to witness something which even rishis and gods look for. They are all waiting to see this. And I gave you a glimpse of that. To attain that state, you have to go through this process of jnatum, drashtum, tattvena, praveshtum. That means you should know, you should be able to see, and then you should be able to enter into it. Only then you can see this form. I just gave you a glimpse. Out of His grace, God always gives us an opportunity to see Him. But to deserve it, we have to go through the process. First is to get to know. The second one is to see it, physically see it, pratyaksha, or in front of us, a direct perception, you can say. That is a process and it requires effort. Swami sometimes has made statements, during Shivaratri and things like that. Whoever saw the lingam emerging, they will not be born again. So many people think, oh, we have gone, we have seen, so we will be liberated. If liberation was so easy, it will be, everyone who has seen one Swami also can be liberated. But what Swami means, make an effort to see. So I will stop at so that's also another point which I wanted to say is this seers, mantras in the Vedas are called are seen by drashta, mantra drashta. There are people who see the mantras. See the mantras means they are experiencing directly. The direct experience itself is direct and it's continuous. So I will stop there. So when I will read the discourse and then we can discuss a little, I guess. I have one big full discourse to read, so I hope it's okay. Embodiments of divine love. What appears to the eyes, whatever reaches the ears, whatever occurs in the mind, whatever moves the heart, all these are capable of deluding the person. The whole cosmos is an expression of the combination of drishya, the seen, the drashta, the seer. Brahman, absolute, is the seer. Creation is a manifestation of the union of the seer and the seen. In this land of Bharat, the ancient sacred relationship between the preceptor and pupil have vanished. In this land of Bharat, the ancient sacred relationship between preceptor and pupil has vanished. The treasure of truth and self-discipline has been lost. Faith in God and devotion have declined. Assertion of freedom without responsibility has grown beyond bounds. Wealth has become the sole aim, and righteousness has receded to the background. What else can I convey to you, O good and noble people assembled here? So this is a poem which Swami has sung in this discourse. We'll continue. In this vast universe, wherein there are innumerable things which have to be learned, what is the inner reason for the emphasis placed by Vedanta on the search for the meaning of the word I, used by everyone in common parlance? In fact, if man is able to grasp the meaning of the infinite Atma, he will be able to comprehend everything else in the world. Yat vijnanena sarvam vijnatam bhavati. Knowing that by which all else becomes known is a declaration of the Shruti, the Veda. When man is able to understand the meaning of I, he will be in a position to understand everything. Janma karma cha me divyam. Birth and action are my divine aspects. This is stated in the Gita. Mamaiveshyati, mamaiveshyasi, Arjuna. I think we should just, sorry, I will. Mama eva ishyasi, Arjuna, which basically means you will attain me, O Arjuna. It's from a verse called Manmana Bhavamat Pakto Matyaji Mam Namaskuru. Mama eva ishyasi. You will attain me through all this. Okay, that's. Aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami masucha. I will liberate you from all sins. Do not grieve. In the Gita, in a number of places, you have references to the I and me. In the great scriptures and epics, you find the statement Swavirmarsho mokshaha. Swavirmarsho mokshaha. The inquiry into the self leads to liberation. All scriptures enjoin know thyself. In the world, when anyone introduces himself, he declares, I am Ranga, I am Linga, I am Rama, and so on. Even animals and birds use the term I in their own respective language to indicate what they are. Whether a fox or a dog, a leopard or a tiger, an eagle or a parrot. I runs like a continuous thread in a garland in all beings. Whatever their names or form, hence every man has to recognize the significance of this ubiquitous term I. Unfortunately, man is becoming a prey to innumerable difficulties by identifying this I with the body. The Shruti Veda declares, Aham etat na, I am not this. The Shruti teaches in this statement that the I is different from the form. The Shruti also teaches the profound truth about Sat Chit Ananda, being, awareness, bliss. In the statement, I am not this, there are three distinct terms. I am not, and this. What is the I? On the authority of the Vedas, the I has been described under various names as Atma, Brahman, Paramatma, Pratyagatma, and the like. It must be noted that this I is present in every man as Vaishvanara. In the form of Vaishvanara, the I principle digests the food taken by a person and converting it to blood, circulates it to every part of the body. Thus, in the Gita, Krishna declared, Aham Vaishvanaru Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashritaha Pranapana Samayuktaha Pachamyannam Chaturvidam. Assuming the form of Vaishvanara, I enter the bodies of all living beings and through the life breaths of prana apana consume the four kinds of food. I am present as Vaishvanara in every human being, declares the Lord. The significance of the term Paramatma is that he is the one who transcends the senses of action and perception, the mind, intellect, will, and ahankara. The Paramatma principle is envisaged as Brahman, the supreme principle, absolute. Brahman is characterized by all-pervasiveness. The I principle is present in every human being. This omnipresent I is Brahman. I is therefore a manifestation of Brahman. Then there is this term, this. This implies that and indicates every object in the phenomenal universe. This is a mic, this is a vessel, this is a cloth, this is a fan. This is used when referring to the sun, moon, hill, or dale. The inner meaning of the use of the term this is that it refers to everything that can be perceived. If a pointed reference is not made by the use of this, the question will be asked to what one is referring when using the word like cloth. By stating that this is cloth, the precise object is indicated. Thus, in all objects, this is present as an all-pervading quality. This is drishya, the seen. I is the drashta, the seer. It follows that the seer is not the seen. I am not the body, that is my vesture. Even as I see other things, I am not also seeing my body. This is how one should recognize the distinction between the seer and the seen. If this logic is understood, is it not a sign of ignorance to identify the body with the I? The body is like other perceived objects. Hence, to identify the body with one's self is preposterous. In the states of dream, deep sleep, and samadhi, one is not aware of the body. Hence, you are not the body. You are the drashta, the seer. In this vast creation, with its myriad forms and names, there is one basic principle sustaining all of them. It is from this basic principle everything else has emerged. Nothing can be installed without a base. A variety of ornaments are made from gold. The ornaments may vary in form and name, but the basic substance is the same, gold. The gold remains even when the jewels are melted. The yellow metal itself remains unchanged. Likewise, the world of perception, with its myriad names and forms, drishya, the seen, and drashta, the seer, the I principle, is the adhishtanam, basis. Hence, the commonly used term I, nenu in Telugu, should not be interpreted in a superficial sense. I am the Atma. It is only when one recognizes this basic truth can he overcome the troubles he encounters in the phenomenal world and experience real ananda, bliss. All the myriad forms cannot be perceived without a perceiver. Therefore, the basic truth underlying all the forms is the existence of the perceiver. The first sound that emanates from every man and from all beings is I. I is anterior to Pranava, Om. But just because the I is in common use and is part of the daily experiences of everyone, it tends to be treated like a cheap cliche. Because of this tendency, man becomes a prey to innumerable troubles and difficulties. The actor and his role played on the stage. You must remember that the divinity in man is not divisible or separable. For instance, take the case of an actor called Rama, who was appearing in the role of Hiranyakashipu. When he appeared on the stage director asked him, "Who are you?" In his garb as Hiranyakashipu, he was oblivious to his original name, Rama. In stentorian language, he answered, "Don't you know that I am the all-powerful, universally dreaded monarch of the world? Hiranyakashipu, don't you know that I have mastered my senses and control everything in the world?" He answered boastfully in this manner. The actor was Rama. The role he was playing was that of Hiranyakashipu. It was one and the same person who was playing two roles as Rama and as Hiranyakashipu. The Jiva individual is in the body, the divine is in the Hridaya, heart. Both sport together and part from each other. There's a supreme puppeteer who runs the puppet show using the individuals as dolls. The actor in the role Hiranyakashipu on the stage is recognized only as Hiranyakashipu by the audience. Similarly, all human beings with their different names and forms are playing different roles on the stage of life. But the one indwelling principle in all of them is the Atma. He answered boastfully in this manner. Similarly, all human beings with their different names are playing different roles on the stage of life, but one indwelling principle in all of them is Atma. Forgetting this basic truth about the inherent divinity of man, believing in the manifold forms and vestures worn by human beings, men are involving themselves in numerous difficulties. When you find out who is the person who has put on the garb of a certain role, you will discover the transient nature of the role. In every man, the all-pervading divine is present. When one becomes aware of the divine in him, he becomes divine itself. Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. Brahmavidyat apnuati param. Through the knowledge of the Brahman, one attains the supreme. Tarati atmavid shokam. The knower of the Atma overcomes sorrow. Neha, neha, nanasti kinchit. Only the one abides ekameva advitiyam. There's only one and no second. These are the truths declared by the Vedas. Because man has ignored these Vedic truths, he is forgetting his true divine nature. Man should endeavor to know that by knowing which everything else is known. For instance, if the nature of clay is known, all about objects made from clay can be known. Clay is in a mud pot, but mud pot is not in the clay. The pot is an artificial product. Likewise, what is drishya, perceived, is in the drashta, perceiver. But the perceiver is not in what is perceived. Recognize the fact you are the seer. This drashta, seer, is known by many names. In the waking state, he is cognizer in all beings and hence is called Virat Sarupa, the cosmic person. As he is engaged in a variety of activities, he is also termed Vyavaharika. Okay. On account of the attachment to every object in the world, he is also called Vishwa. In the dream state also, the I is known by different names. He is known as the creator of dreams. As the mind alone functions in this state, he is known as Pratyagatma. Moreover, as he is seeking to attain higher state by the process of inquiry and questioning, he is also known as Chitta Ekagrata, one-pointed inquirer. In the deep slate, because of the potency of Antakarana, the inner motivator, the I is liable to comprehend everything and therefore is called Taijasa or Prajna. All the universe is filled with innumerable objects with different forms and names. The one thing that is present in all of them is the I. The I principle is omnipresent. I know I have put an entire long discourse just to explain what is Drishtatva. Through this process, whatever one attains is like Raja Griha Bhojan. So most of the commentators have said that the devotee realizes that he is divine. Okay. Raja means king. There are multiple meanings we can give for this sutra, because in the world, for us to live peacefully in an orderly way, a king is needed, a king who rules the world. We also need some basic necessities like griham, where we can stay, a place to stay, or we need food, bhojana. So all that is needed for us to live peacefully in this world. Okay, they are Raja, Griha, Bhojanadi. All that is required for peacefully living in this world. In that, one can see divinity. One who has seen divinity will have everything. So in the same manner, so the thing is, what the sutra says is, all of us have this within our grasp, but that's only attainable by being able to see. So this seeing of a devotion means seeing that we are one, we are part of the Lord. That attainment is what Swami is talking about. Swami always says, I am God, but you don't know that you are God. So that is, you have to identify with the Atman, and then everything divine will happen, and everything is available for such a person because they have attained the Supreme. So that just to explain what is this tattva, I thought this discourse nicely Swami tells, what is that seeing? Okay, so I have a couple of more excerpts I will quickly go through. During the reign of this king and queen, men and women lived in peace and happiness, untroubled by want. Parikshit also arranged for the performance of many Vedic sacrifices and rituals for the prosperity of mankind. So this is from the Bhagavad Gita. It's talking about the reign of Parikshit as a king. So as you can see, Parikshit also arranged for the performance of many Vedic rituals for the prosperity of mankind. So the king ensures the prosperity of everyone. He arranged the worship in temples, homes of God, in his manifold forms with his manifold names. By these and other means, faith in God and love of man were implanted in the hearts of his subjects. He promoted measures to ensure peace and harmony among sages and saints who were living as recluses in forest hermitages. He guarded them in their silent retreats from man and beast. He exhorted them to probe into themselves and discover the laws of self-control. He supervised personally the steps taken to ensure their safety and security. Thus, Parikshit and Airavati ruled over their empire like Ishvara and Parvati, who rule over the universe with parental love and care. Shortly, news that the queen was in the family way spread among the women and was confirmed. The subjects prayed to God at home and in public place of worship to bless the queen with a son who would be endowed with all virtues and strength of character, who would be a staunch and unflinching adherent of Dharma, and who would live the full span of years. In those ages, subjects loved the king so intensely that they renounced their own joys to please him. The king too loved them and guarded them as the apple of his eye. So through this bhakti, to be able, when we see the Lord in ourselves and in everyone, the world will be a very well-ruled place. The joy one gets in living in a country like that, where God can be worshipped freely and with joy, and the king looks out for the prosperity of every citizen. That is the real kingdom. Everywhere else is not a kingdom. Okay, so what we see there can be attained only through this drishta. So the thing is, person who has seen the Lord will experience anywhere the same. That kind of a kingdom. Only that is attainable by the person who is able to see the Lord in oneself and in the world. We will go to another excerpt. More than food for the stomach, humanity needs food for the spirit. The food Anna, that Annapurna Devi, goddess of nourishment, gives is not food, rice and curry. The alms that she is asked to give are almost alms of spiritual wisdom, not the handful of rice that you think it means. They are the alms of spiritual wisdom, love, devotion, and grace. Seek her grace to get more spiritual wisdom, more love, more devotion, and more grace. Do not lower the standard of service when serving pilgrims in this holy place. Place emphasis here on devotion, detachment, and spiritual wisdom. Do not encourage pomp and insincerity here. Of all places, if someone out of sincere devotion gives a naya paisa, accept it as if it is a crore. Do not accept a crore if it is given with a view to parade wealth and advertise detachment. I am laying the foundation stone of the new block of this pilgrim's rest house, and I bless that you may so act that the significance of the name Annapurna is not neglected. You have my blessings in full measure. Join hands, all of you, in this task. Make it a success soon. Do not feed indiscriminately and make this an asylum for idlers. Feed only those who come with yearning to spend some days in this holy atmosphere. Then only will people be grateful. Feed those who come here for spiritual discipline, for living their lives in the presence of God. Feed those who are living examples of the joy that comes from spiritual effort. This is a discourse Swami has given where he was inaugurating a rest house for pilgrims. But I felt it talks about food, what food is. Also, we are celebrating Navaratri, so wish all of you a holy Navaratri. We are worshipping the mother for different things, for wealth, for strength, and also knowledge. But all this actually related to the spiritual world only we are actually praying for today, this time. So it's a good opportunity to say the food, bhojana, is that which a devotee will have who has seen the Lord. So with that, we'll go to the next sutra. Yes, sister.
Sairam, brother, just can you give a little more insight on this strength, educate, knowledge, and wealth? How you look at it on a spiritual perspective? What is the wealth is referred to the spirituality side, and what is the knowledge or strength? For the strength, what is the spirituality side you are really is referred kind of? Not that strongness in your body, right? So it's something on a spiritual perspective. Thank you, Sarah.
I will not dwell too much, sister, but basically, king defeats anything bad in this world. So that is strength of a king. Everyone wants to be a leader or a head or a king, but their role is to make sure that there is peace in the world by getting rid of all that is bad. For that, all that is bad in the mind of man also is strength. In our own mind, there are the 6 enemies, kama, krodha, all that, the anger, hatred, okay, and so on, jealousy, and all the negative qualities, attachment, whatever you want to call it. So all those are negative qualities. And to win over them, we need strength. The mind, that cannot be done without the help of God. So Durga is the one who can remove all negative things in this world. Not in this world, first of all within us. That is the spiritual strength everyone needs. So that's what we pray for. We pray for the spiritual wealth. Okay. And then only until these negative things are overcome, we can't even get spiritual wealth. That's why we first pray to Durga to first grant us that ability. Then we worship Lakshmi to give us spiritual wealth. Shat Sampatti, that is the real wealth. We have looked at the sixfold Sampat, somebody will get wealth, Shama, Dama, and so on. And then comes the knowledge part. Know that the Lord is Lord and I am one. Soham, we are that Lord. That is the real wisdom which Saraswati grants. So with that, I will go
Yeah,
on.
thank you so much.
So we will. Next one. Na tena raja paritosha chuchantirva. Na tena raja paritosha chuchantirva. Na tena raja paritosha chuchantirva. Look at the pronunciation aspects. Tena raja paritosha. The sh is the only one which we have to pay attention, which is cerebral sh. Chuchantirva. Kshu is uk and sh, again the same sh, coming after uk, cerebral sh, after ka. Then chandi, this is the second letter in the cha varga, cha class of consonants. So it has to be aspirated like cha. Okay. Chantir va. So those are the letters which you have to pay little attention. We look at the split of the sandhis. Na tena raja paritosha, there are no sandhi related changes. They're all individual words. The last word is comprised of three words. Okay, I would say two words. The first one is the compound one, chut chanti, chut and shanti. So it and sha actually go through quite a bit of change. The sha first becomes cha because of the sandhi. And because the sha has become cha, the it changes to it. So that's how you get kshut becomes kshut and shanti becomes chanti. Okay, so that's how you get kshut chanti. So kshut and shanti becomes kshut chanti. And the visarga at the end becomes ir because it's going to join with va. So that's how you get tirva. So kshut chantirva. It's made up of kshut chantihi. That's a compound word, the samasa. And va is a separate word. Okay, but this compound word is made of two. We look at the meaning. Na means not. Na is not. Tena is the third vibhakti or the third noun form of the word. Tat means through that or by that or with that. All meanings are possible. So what is that? Through devotion. Okay. Not by that. Okay. Raja is a king. Paritosha, happy and satisfied. Okay. Paritosha, tushti means happiness. Santosha, that's a very common word which this is paritosha means in a full happiness, full satisfaction, you can say. Kshut chanti, kshut is hunger. Kshut is hunger. Shanti is calming. The calming of hunger. Va also. So this is a very interesting, because the early statement is stated, this is a complementary statement by Narada. Na tena raja paritoshaga khuchantirva. So what the meaning commentators have given is, the king is always a king. The food is always a food. Okay. But the thing is, the king is not satisfied means Oh, he's not happy means our real form is that this is not even needed for us to feel happy. Because Swami says you are divine, so you don't really need something to become happy. Okay, you don't even need devotion to be happy. That means you realize your true self. Devotion is that which reminds you that you are yourself. It does not make you divine. It does not make you happy. It only removes the hurdles which stand in the way of you realizing that you are the king, that you are the Lord. Okay. So only when that state is regained. So it's not that, it's like a king forgot that he is king and is moving about. Does he cease to be king? No, he does not. But he has forgotten that he is. So the reminder that he is a king did not make him a king. He was a king in the first place. So in the same way, devotion does not make you divine. You are divine, but devotion removes that understanding, that forgetting that understanding that you are divine. Okay. Kshuchantirva means even the hunger is calm down, is meaning that for the Lord there is no hunger. Okay. The Lord, so the same way we also will not have hunger for anything. Only because we identify with the body, we will have hunger, we will experience hunger. So, this is a clarification that the devotion is a process through which you realize you who you are, but it does not change Raja, Griha, Bhojan. Okay, that's why in the previous one, even though the Drishtatvat you experience these, Raja, Griha, Bhojana, is already present. Okay, already present. The devotion just removes the blocks. Okay, so that is what it is. So I will just um, read an excerpt of Swami's, just so that it's an opportunity for us to listen to Swami's words. That's the reason. I am pleased prizes were awarded today to the students who manifested enthusiasm in social service, in reverential humility, in the observance of disciplinary rules, and in scholastic attainments. Ability to win such prizes is a good foundation for a useful and efficient career later on. Education is not the acquisition of burdensome information regarding objects and men. It is the awareness of the immortal spirit within, which is the spring of joy, peace, and courage. Here you study the Vedas and Shastras and Puranas in consonance with the teachings contained in them. You are also given instructions in yoga, control over senses, and dhyana meditation. Growing in this atmosphere in Prashanti Nilayam, learning those basic subjects that train you for a good and simple life is a great piece of good fortune for you. Really, your parents too are fortunate. There are about 5 or 6 children in each family in this country. Among those millions of children, these few alone have secured this gift of grace. I'll pause here. So this is a discourse Swami is giving to the Veda Pathashala students in the early 1960s, which Swami had established. So that was the first school Swami established, Veda Pathashala. Okay, so here he's saying, and he's also telling what we have to learn. He's talking education is not the acquisition of some knowledge, okay, but realizing one's immortal spirit within. Okay, that's the purpose. So that's why Swami will say, Bala Vikas, the divinity is already inside, it has to be brought out. It's not somebody puts it in. It is brought out. So that is why the king is not actually become a king because of devotion. The devotion makes him realize that he is king. Okay, so food also is the same thing. We are anyways, actually we have food naturally. We don't really need something. Only when you lack something, it becomes hunger. But you lack something because you don't know that you have it. So those are the meanings from the verse. So that's why I chose this. Let me read, continue. That is something on which you can be congratulated. Life has to be spent in accumulating virtue and safeguarding virtue, not riches. Listen and ruminate over the stories of the great moral heroes of the past so that their ideals may be imprinted on your hearts. Virtue is becoming rare nowadays in the individual and in the family, society, and community in all fields of life, economic, political, and even spiritual. So also there's a decline in discipline, which is the soil on which virtue grows. Unless each one is respected, whatever his status, his economic condition, his spiritual development, there can be no peace and no happiness in life. This respect can be aroused only by the conviction that the same Atma, self-reality, that is in you is playing the role of the other person. See that Atma in others, feel that they too have hunger, thirst, yearning, and desires as you have. Develop sympathy and the anxiety to serve and be useful. Into this Prashantanilayam, persons come from all parts of the world, of all stages of development, with all types of problems, afflicted with all forms of pain or grief, inspired with all varieties of promptings. As students of the Patashala, educational institution, you must be shining examples of humility and reverence before them. You must, by your behavior, bring good name to the parents who pray that their children must live without distress or dishonor. Becoming rich is but a vulgar achievement. Black marketeers and housebreakers also achieve it. Living without suffering or making others suffer, that is grander and nobler. You must make your kayam body, kalam time, and kanksha wishes instruments for uplift, not downfall. You have in the coming days to go forth into commerce of this land and awaken spiritual hunger among the people and provide the wherewithal by which it can be appeased. The atmosphere in which you are prosecuting your studies is very congenial for the training necessary for this role. You have as preceptors, pandits, scholars who have renounced hearth and home and are happy with the service they are privileged to render. You have teachers from America and North India imbued with faith and devotion. They look upon you as their own children, as entrusted to their care by me, and so they nurture you as the eyelids nurture the pupil. Be grateful to them. You owe great debt to them, the debt of children to the mother. You have valuable opportunity to listen to my discourses and directions. They have been printed upon your hearts. Your talk is about them. Your conversation is centered on me, my words, my leelas, my mahimas. When you go to your village, you share the sweetness of this experience with the young companions you have left there. My advice is, apply this adoration in life, show your companions here and in your villages how disciplined you are, how sincerely you obey your parents, how deeply you revere your teachers. Be a light, a lamp, radiating virtues and self-control in the village. Do not slide back into indiscipline, bad manners, irresponsibility, and evil habits. Behave in your village or wherever you are as commendably as here. Rise from bread thereto in the Brahma Muhurtam, the auspicious period dedicated to Brahma meditation, from 4:30 to 5:15 a.m. Recite the Pranava, Om, even if you have no group around you. Repeat the Suprabhatam, awakening him, sit for some time immersed in dhyana, meditation, go through the yoga exercises, the Surya Namaskars, obeisance to Sun God, sing bhajans, devotional songs, when the hour reminds you that bhajan has started at Prashanti Nilayam. Then you will be carrying the sacred atmosphere of the Prashanti Nilayam with you. Your parents will be elated. The elders will learn from you the discipline which confers concord and courage. Do not complain against food. Whatever parents give, Eat with pleasure. Do not protest against any errand that they may assign you. Run gladly to fulfill it. When they want you to nurse them, nurse happily, intelligently, glad that you got the chance. So live here and everywhere, now and always, that I who see you and know all thoughts, words, and deeds can pour my grace on you more and more. I just picked it up because Swami is talking about the ability to realize who we are. So, which is what the education is all about. Um, the knowledge which Veda grants us. That's also jnana, knowing that we are the Atman. We already looked at last week that jnana and devotion are the same, or they are interrelated so much. There's no devotion without jnana. What is the jnana? Knowing that we are the Atman and living only for that sake, serving that Atman in the world, finding that Atman. Only through that we will really have a good kingdom, good home, and good food, which nourish not only the physical body but the spiritual. We'll go to one more sutra for today. Tasmat saiva grahya mumukshubhihi. Tasmat saiva grahya mumukshubhihi. Tasmat saiva grahya mumukshubhihi. In terms of pronunciation, the first three words do not have any aspirated consonants or difficulty, so it should be really simple. In the last one, mumukshu, the kshu we have already looked at. It's a cerebral sh which comes with k in the kshu. And b is the fourth letter in the per class of consonants, so it has to be aspirated. Mumukshubihi. Tasmat saiva grahya mumukshubihi. Let's look at the sandhi splits. The first word tasmat is standalone, no changes, no sandhi, related changes. The second word saiva is made of two words, sa and eva. The a and a becomes I, so that's how it becomes sa becomes a, sa and a becomes sai. Okay, sa eva saiva. Grahya, standalone word. Mumukshabhi is also a separate word. Okay. So the only word is saiva, which has become sa eva. We'll look at the meaning. Tasmat. Okay, tasmat means, I would say, due to. So, due to. Okay. Tasmat, due to that, you can say, okay, due to. I will go to that one. Due to that. Okay. Sa eva. Okay. That alone. Sa is also she, because it's a feminine word depicting what is that. So, but in this it is describing devotion. We have already looked at a few places where devotion is addressed in a feminine sense. Because in Sanskrit, the words have their own gender. Okay, sa here means actually that. Okay, due to that devotion alone. Tasmat sa eva. Due to that devotion alone. Okay. Grahya. Grahya means accepted, receiving in hand or grasping also. Grahya. Mumukshubhihi. What do you have? Grab? Mumukshutva. Mumuksha means one who wishing for liberation. This one of the qualities of a devotee is to have mumukshutvam. There are four things which a devotee is supposed to have. Among them, mumukshutvam. That is the desire for attaining liberation. So, due to this devotion, one would hold on to the desire for liberation. Through devotion alone, one will get the ability to really seek liberation. Many of us want, no birth, no more birth. Many people say, we don't want to be born again. But just saying that will not be the real. See, once we want that liberation, we will every second of the day we will actually work for that only. Nothing related. No one will accumulate anymore. No one will hold on to the world. We will hold on to that desire for liberation. So just saying that we don't want to be born is not good enough. That is just empty word. But they will really grasp moksha. So that means one who has devotion is only the one who is actually grasping the desire for liberation very tightly. So that is another qualification. So that is something which the devotion grants a person. That ability, that intense seeking for liberation is granted only by devotion. Without devotion, that will not be there. Okay, so that is the understanding. So we will just read some excerpts from Swami's. It is not easy for the mind of man immersed in worldly concerns to turn to God. Meditation, repetition of the names of the Lord, bhajans, group singing of devotional songs, reading of scriptures, and other activities are designed to purify the mind so that it can concentrate on God. As a field has to be properly plowed and prepared for sowing so as to reap a good harvest, the field of our heart has to be rendered pure and sacred through good and holy actions and sadhana, spiritual discipline, if it is to yield the fruit of divine wisdom. There are 4 stages in the spiritual journey to God. In the first stage, one half of the time of the mind may be devoted to the pursuit of the 3 purusharthas, goals of life, dharma, artha, kama, for earning one's livelihood and carrying on one's worldly duties to family and kith and kin. 1 quarter should be used for the study of scriptures and the remaining 4 for contemplating on God. So Swami has divided our life into 2, half only for the world. The other half, 1 quarter for studying the scriptures, and the last quarter is only for contemplation of God. Okay, so that's how Swami has. That is the first stage of devotion. Yes, sister.
Brother, what is the half, this a worldly thing? What is that
So in our day, if you awake for 12 hours in a day, 6 hours should be given for everything. Dharma, artha, kama.
Dharma, Artha, Kama. That is the one.
Only half should be given to the world.
Okay.
The other half for moksha. Dharma, artha, kama. Moksha is the 4th purushartha, the 4th goal of life. Swami says the first stage in spirituality, half should be given to all the worldly existence, the other half should be totally for moksha.
Moksha.
That means if you have 12 hours,
Yeah.
6 hours for the world, 6 hours, of the 6 hours, 3 hours for studying the scriptures, 3 hours for just contemplating on the God.
Okay.
That is Swami is the first stage. So I think everyone can figure out which stage we are in. Gradually, you proceed to the second stage, intermediate stage, when only 1/4 of the time is devoted to worldly affairs. Half the time is used for the study of scriptures and remaining 4th for meditation on God. So this second stage, Swami says, only quarter for the world. So if you are awake for 12 hours, only 3 hours for anything related to dharma, artha, kama, only 3 hours. Then we have to spend 6 hours to study scriptures. Then 3 hours for contemplating on the Lord. Okay. At the next higher stage, half the mind's time should be devoted to scriptural studies, the other half to meditation. That means the world is gone. Now 6 hours, that is the third stage, is only 6 hours reading and studying the scriptures, 6 hours meditating on the Lord. Okay. Sorry. Bhakti is the means to transfer mind Godward. In the 4th stage, that of the mumukshu, the seeker of revelation, the entire time of the mind should be devoted to God realization. This is the stage described in the Gita as Satatam Yoginaha, always immersed in union with God. If you pursue your spiritual discipline while regulating your daily life in the manner, discharging your daily duties, you are bound to become the recipient of God's grace. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has declared that he and the Gita are one. When you reverentially study the Gita at home, you must regard the Gita as Krishna himself installed in your shrine. When Krishna and Gita reside, it is not mere home but a temple. It has been declared that for those who have installed the Gita, the Ganga, the Gayatri, and Govinda in their hearts, moksha is certain. If the body is regarded as a home, they are in it a master, the husband and wife. The master is a pure, unsullied, unwavering person. The wife is fickle and full of impurities. It is difficult for the two to get on harmoniously. Either of them must give way to the other. It is obviously not desirable for the pure, untainted husband to give in to the ways of the vacillating and impure wife. If the wife comes under the sway of the husband and follows his dictates, the home will be filled with peace and joy. In the body, the master of the house is the Atma, which is ever pure and steady. The mind, which is ever wavering and unsteady, is the wife. It is when the mind is transformed and brought under the control of the Atma, soul, the body experiences Ananda, the divine bliss. The means by which the mind is transformed is bhakti, intense love for God. The mind must be progressively turned towards God until it merges in God. It's a discourse from 1984. With that, I will stop. So Swami is saying the real devotee is a mumukshu. We will reach that fourth stage, which is life is entirely devoted only for moksha, which is to know the Lord, to be one with the Lord. That quality is granted by devotion. That's the highest form of devotion. So with that, I will stop. I know it seems daunting, but I think Swami wants us to study this during Dashara. I wish all of you wonderful, auspicious Dashara. And may the Lord grant us more wisdom and guide our life. So we will all reach that stage of moksha. I will stop here. If there are any questions, I will answer. If not, we can. Sairam Kalyan.
Sairam Uncle, in the last sutra, so mumukshu is referring to a person who's desiring liberation, right? So
Yes.
mumukshu bihi is third vibhakti?
Yes. Yes.
So I'm trying to understand that whole sentence.
Okay.
So is it by holding on to?
1 second. This one, no?
Yes.
Tasmat Saiva. So, but the thing is, even to have that devotion through mumuksha alone, you can have that. Okay. You become a grahya. That devotion itself will grasp the Lord through mumuksha. So the thing is, see, you even to have devotion, to hold on to devotion, you need to have the desire for liberation. But that they are interconnected in the sense you can have only mumukshutva through devotion. Okay, because the first stage, second stage, and third stage only take you to the fourth stage. But unless you reach the fourth stage, you won't be able to steadily hold on to devotion. So if you ask me, see, for example, we have a worldly need. Devotion is intense. Some problem has to be solved. We will all have devotion. But then what happens? That devotion will wither away, go away after some time. When that what we are seeking is attained, that will go away. Why it goes away? The object which we are seeking through devotion is also temporary. So devotion comes and goes. There's intensity in devotion one day and intensity go on the next day. But through this desire for liberation, we'll be able to hold on to, through this desire for liberation, you will be able to hold on to Sa, that devotion. So you'll be able to hold on to devotion through the state of Mukshubi, through this desire for liberation. Okay? Your holding will be very, very intense, tight, and permanent. Because until you reach muksha, you will be holding on. Once mukshatvam is, once you have liberated, then you don't need it. So if you want to have permanent devotion, you have to have muksha. So that's it. Through mumuksha only you will hold on to it. But through devotion only you will get that also, because it's a higher state. So when we have devotion, the desire for liberation is an important ingredient without which devotion will not be permanent. Okay. So through desiring, by desiring liberation, let me put that way. Okay. Okay. Through or with that, you'll be able to hold on to that devotion. So it's an interplay of things, through devotion you get mumuksha, liberation, desire for liberation also. Through real devotion you will get mumuksha, that's desire for liberation, and through that desire for liberation you will hold on to the devotion very tightly. Only then you will get that. That's why I said held on to. Okay. Otherwise, it's not possible to hold on to devotion of an intense nature. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay. So in the sutras, you should understand there are multiple ways of you can look at it and multiple meanings you can get depending on the stage of understanding also. So there's an interconnectedness between seek for liberation and devotion, and they help each other. That seeking for liberation comes only because of jnana, or seeking for knowledge also. So jijnasu, all those who study, Swami says you have to study for 3 hours, then he says 6 hours you should study. Okay. So I will stop here. Yes, brother, Uncle Gopalan.
Sairam.
Sairam. Sairam.
So these 3 sutras we studied today. First was we started with the body connection. So we are supposed to think we are not this body,
Yes.
and gradually lead to we should become like Sai Gita or Meera or Sakubai. This is what I gather from what these things are coming to. Thank you.
Yes, uncle. Yes, exactly. That's why. So this the whole studies of what is devotion. So we know how to be devoted, how to be devotees. Yeah, they are the examples. Yes. Later on, actually, they also mentioned some ideal devotees are mentioned later on in the sutra. So we'll look at them. Okay, yes, Sairam Kalyani, you have.
Sorry, Uncle. The second sutra. So, the first part of it is saying na tena raja. So, not by that you become a king. I understood that part. So then, the second part, paritoshaha kshut shantihi va. So does that mean he's not satisfied by calming of the hunger?
No. So, see, we have looked at Raja and Bhojana. Okay, so the thing is, Natena Raja Paritoshaha. Not, that is not, okay, not through that the king is happy. Not due to that is the hunger appeased. Okay. Natena Raja Paritoshaha Shuchanti. So the thing is, individuals, our hunger is not satiated because of that. Okay. Not due to devotion. Why? The meaning is you are already content. There's no hunger. The Atma doesn't have hunger. The Atma does not attain the state of hungerlessness due to devotion. It's already, but by removing that, so again, this hunger means not physical hunger. Okay. It's also spiritual hunger. So, for example, we are all saying, oh, we don't have God. We are always looking for God. Okay. But the hunger itself is only because of ignorance for God. So I will say the devotion is not that which gives you that God. It doesn't create God. It makes you understand that you are God. Okay, so that is the hunger for. See, we are all talking about bhakti here. So though some of the words used may be relating to the world, it is about the hunger for God, hunger for that state which we have is not necessarily appeased by that. It is just taking away the obstructions of you realizing that you are not hungry. You don't lack anything. I think that's the sense. I hope that
Yes,
answers you.
thank you so much. And
Okay.
I know you had mentioned there was a connection between the first and the second sutra. Can you again just say like what was the connection between the first sutra and the second?
So the first one says, by looking at it, by seeing that, what you see in that, when you see that, what you get out of that is similar to what's Raja, Griha, Bhojanadi. So basically, everyone in this world is looking for something. Okay, in the spiritual world also, you are looking for some order. In the spiritual world also, you're looking for a home. In the spiritual world also, you're looking with a hunger. Okay, you want something orderliness. So, for example, if you are able to live life with all your mind fully under control, all the senses working, for that you need a king. Okay, you need a home which is conducive. So your mind should be conducive for living, because after all, we all exist in the mind. That is the real home. And bhojana is also there is some hunger, something lacking is there. Okay, all this is the nature of a devotee also, who is actually trying to appease that. Okay, so this Raja Bhova Griha, though these words relate to the body, but actually it all relates to the inner self. Okay, so whatever you attain there is because you are the Atma. So this devotion did not give you that. That's the second one. So when you have this devotion where you have come to realize that you are that, what you attain is equivalent to Raja Bhoga, Raja Griha Bhojana, which you experience. But you did not attain that. What you attain is like those, but it is completely independent of those also. Okay, so that's, I hope, that's why I said those two are related. It is not that devotion is making you a king. Devotion is giving you food. No. Devotion removes that illusion that these are missing. Orders or naturally, once the Atman, you realize that you're Atman, it is like having a home. It is like having a king. It is like having food. But did it give you that? No, it did not give you. Okay, so it's a bit of an Advaita philosophy. I hope that answers your question. That's why I said both are related. So Narada is saying it is like having a king. It is like having a food. It is like, but the king is not satisfied. The Raja is not satisfied. So Raja actually it refers to the Atman also. Okay, so you can say, is God pleased by your devotion? God is also always content. God is actually, many people say, oh, when we did, Swami will be pleased. Swami does not depend on anything to be pleased. Okay. He may be pleased that you realize, but even that also he doesn't mind. If you don't realize yourself also, he'll be happy. His happiness is not changed by that. Okay. It's the same way with us also. We will not be changed. So do we need food? Is you provide food to God? You think his hunger is pleased by what we offer to him? No. He doesn't need the food. Same way our Atman also does not. Okay. So the external things are not needed for the inner self. So that's the meaning which people have given. So that's why I said both of them are sort of related. They're related because every sutra we had to refer to the previous one to understand this. So even if you take the Raja, we should go back to the previous sutras which we just studied, which relate to Jnana, Bhakti. Actually, it's so we cannot take one sutra as a standalone and study, because in a garland you can see each. There are many beads, but if you pull one bead out, the garland is also broken. The bead is also of not use because the garland is disappeared. So every bead has to be looked in terms of what is before and what is after. So every sutra has to be studied in connection with the previous one and the one which follows. So this all related, they complement each other and they make them whole, our understanding whole. That's my understanding. That's my limited understanding. So let me put it that way. So you all can contemplate, and I'm sure the Lord will reveal whatever each of us need for us to understand. I hope I'll stop here.
Thank you.
Don't think what I've said is the real meaning, okay? It is a meaning. Also, Saira. We'll close with Samastaloka, and may all of you have a wonderful Navaratri, and we'll meet next Saturday. Saira. Oh. Samastaloka sukhino bhavantu. Samastaloka sukhino bhavantu. Samastaloka sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sai Ram, everyone.